Hello again, this is Borahla here. So let's sum things up. In this second week, we have learned that there is a big difference between acquisition and learning. Learning by memorizing lists of vocabulary and grammar can be important, but acquisition means you can put all that knowledge to use through real communication. We learned about two modes of learning, the focused and diffused modes, in order to help deepen your understanding of learning, which tends to be more focused, and acquisition, which tends to be more diffused. The job of the teacher is to give learners both modes of learning and to switch between these like a photographer might with a camera. We introduced the concept of practice by bringing in a new metaphor. Language is football. Language must involve more than just rule-based learning. Students must engage in practice. The concept of an 80-20 rule helps give you a general guideline and ideal for your language classroom. 80% practice, 20% instruction. Finally, we discussed how we get students to practice in either mode of learning. In the focus mode, we talked about spaced repetition, a technique that allows the brain to process information by spacing out learning over time. In the diffuse mode, we talked about creating events that allow students to engage in real communicative activities and questions that invite students to engage in critical thinking. Speaking of critical thinking, it is now time for our next essential question. Remember, an essential question asks you to consider the truth of an assumption based on the information we have just discussed. This week, the assumption is, what is taught is what is learned. What is taught is what is learned. What could that mean? How is it true? How is it not true? Good luck thinking about this one. It's a bit harder than the last essential question, but aren't hard questions some of your favorite kinds of questions? See you in week 3, and thanks for listening. Here, students will naturally focus away from grammar and from details of vocabulary words they know and focus on what they think, feel, and believe.